Hello everyone, Disney Dude here. Please like this video, hit that thumbs up if you enjoy it, and please subscribe to my channel for more content. As you can probably tell, I am not in the parks. I felt that this conversation was better to be had in privacy, because this topic is this discussion is something that I don't really feel comfortable talking about while other people are around, because they might get a little unhappy. So that's why I'm doing this in my own home, so I can talk about this subject with no distractions, no other people around, just myself. And so that's why I decided to do it this way. So, all right. So I'm going to. All right. So this topic is probably going to be a little bit touchy for some people, but I feel it's been going on for quite a while now, and I'm really getting tired of it, and I think it needs to be addressed. It definitely needs to be addressed, because something is going on, and I don't know what it is, but something's going on. But the level of rudeness and disrespect people have for cast members nowadays is unbelievable. I have been going to these parks since I was like 5 years old. Okay? I've been going to these parks since, I don't know, 90, 91, 92, 90, since like 1993 or 4. Okay? I've been going to these parks for a long time. And I can honestly tell you that I have never, ever in my life, I have never seen such horrible animosity to these cast members than I see nowadays. I don't know what's going on with people. I don't know what's been happening in this world, but people have changed. People have changed, and I don't understand it. I just don't understand why people could be so nasty and rude to these cast members that come to work every day and make magic for us, the guests. So I don't know why people feel the need to come to these parks, scream, yell, curse out cast members in front of other people. I don't get it. I don't get it. Look, I am in the customer service industry myself. All right. So I am a cashier at Publix. That's my real job. I did, going to the parks, vlogging about them. That's just I don't get paid for that. That's just something I do in my spare time because I enjoy it. I love going to the parks, and so it's something that I really like to do. But cashiering at Publix, that's my job. That's my job. So I work in the customer service industry, and I can honestly tell you, and look, I've been in the grocery store industry for almost probably about 8 years now. I've been doing not cashiering, but I've been in overall I've been in the grocery store industry for 8 years. I started out as a bagger, then I moved my way up to a cashier, And I can honestly because I started in 2007. Okay? I started in 2007. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24. That's 17 years. 17 years I've been doing this in this industry, okay? I can honestly tell you, I can honestly say, after working with the public for that amount of time, I can honestly tell you, I have never ever seen customers act so rude and so despicable in my lifetime. I have not, okay? Now, look, we've all had the occasional, rude people here and there. We've all had, people like that. That's okay. I have never had, when I first started, I never got cursed out by a customer. I never got, screamed at by a customer. I never got threatened by a customer. And after 2020, something is just a switch has flipped inside of these people, and now not everybody. No, I want to make this clear. Okay, I want to make this really, really clear. Not everybody in the world is mean. Okay, there's a lot of really nice people out there. All right, but to be honest with you, I think there are a lot more rude and nasty people ever since the pandemic happened, okay? And I don't know what happened. I don't know why. People's attitudes have just gotten so much worse. And I always say I don't want to make this political. That's not why I do these. Okay? That's not why I do these rants. That's not why I do these honest reviews. That's not why I do, anything. Okay? Like that. I don't want to make this political. Now, I could make it political. I really could. I could, go down that road and make a lot of people unhappy. But I don't do that. I really don't do that, because this is about Disney. This is about doing what I love to do, but this needs to be addressed. This really needs to be addressed, because people are getting so much more out of hand. People are getting much more violent. The amount of stories that I have seen posted is where guests are fighting other guests, punching people, fighting cast members. It's gross. It's gross. People need to knock it off. Look, going on a vacation, much less a Disney vacation, is stressful enough. And then you're going to go to these parks, and then you're going to decide, well, I'm just, I'm going to see how many people I can treat like crap today. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And I really think people need to knock it off. They need to find another outlet, because the treatment towards these cast members is gross, and it's not fair, and then we all wonder why cast members really don't like their job, and again, the guests only have, certain amount of that. Other certain amount is probably their superiors and what's going on behind the scenes, what we can't see. Okay, but when a ride goes down, or this is Florida, and this time of year we get a lot of rain. June, July, August, September. That's our rainy season, and a little bit in October and November. But June, July, August, and September are rainy seasons. And so when an outdoor ride closes during the rain, it's because of guest safety. It's because of guest safety, all right? When a ride closes because it's lightning and thundering out, that's for our safety. Because Disney doesn't want us to get struck by lightning, okay? They don't want us to get struck by lightning and, have us, be probably disabled for the rest of our days, okay? They don't want that. So it's for our safety that they shut down the outside rides, okay? And I can't tell you how many times people, they have a lightning lane, and it's raining, and it's nasty out. Of course, they shut the rides down, and then people go berserk. People go berserk. Not everyone. Again, I want to really make this as clear as I can make it, okay? I am not picking on everybody, okay? I am not picking on every single person in this world, all right? I'm only talking about the people that are nasty and rude about it. So when Disney closes a ride due to lightning, it's not the cast members' fault. It's not the cast members' fault that they shut the ride down. It's not their fault. So when they have to shut a ride down, it's for our safety. But people tend to yell and scream and at these cast members, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and it's not fair, and they're only doing their job. All right, they're only doing their job, and for these guests to go in thinking that they own the parks, and yell and scream and carry on to these cast members is because their ride was shut down because of weather, or because of, again, these rides are, they're rides, so they're, I'm not a engineer, so I don't know, but, there's wires and, technical stuff and, all kinds of stuff that we can't see that's making this ride work. The ride just doesn't work because it works, okay? It's there's a lot of technical stuff that goes into making these rides, okay? So when a ride goes down, not only due to weather, but certainly because of technical issues, it's not the cast members' fault. It's not their fault. And I think people really need to knock off that attitude, because it's really disgusting. It's really disgusting to see in the parks when I walk by a ride, even if it's a ride that I don't have a lightning lane for and I'm just walking through, and I walk by and I see guests screaming at cast members because their ride went down. It's not their fault. They didn't shut the ride down because they didn't want you to experience it. All right? It's something technical, or in the case of an outside attraction, if it's weather related, it's weather related. All right? So I'm tired of these people coming in thinking that they own the park, thinking that they own these theme parks, and they're like, well, I'm going to treat all the cast members like they're crap because I am better than they are, because I'm paying all this money for a vacation and I expect everything to be perfect. And that doesn't happen. That does not happen. And if you think that way, then something is wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. And it's outrageous. It's outrageous. And it's not fair. It's not fair. You're making things worse for the cast members. You're making things worse for other guests. Guys, there are children that go to these theme parks as well. And when they see someone cussing out a cast member, especially, a little kid, what example are you setting? I mean, seriously, what example are you setting for these children? Okay? I'm going to give you an example. So, last night I was waiting for the fireworks at Epcot. And I was talking, and I was just, there happened to be a lady and her family from out of state. And we got to talking, and she, basically brought up a really valid point. She brought up a valid point, and she said, that, and, she said that she even witnessed a lot of guest interactions, nasty guest interactions toward cast members, and, she, and again, I don't want to make this political. I really, really don't. But this lady brought up a valid point. She said, she said, this was her words, not mine. Okay, this was her words. She said, I truly think that ever since COVID happened, and because of our last president, it's set a mind stone in people that is like, well, since we had the last president, I can treat you like garbage because he said so. I'm sorry. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen at the parks, and it does not happen to me at Publix either. And let me tell you, when people bring up politics to me, I immediately shut them down, because that's not what that's not why I'm there. That's not why I'm there. Our current president, they didn't raise the prices on anything. It's supply and demand. Okay, it's supply and demand, and what just happened in 2020, and the businesses are, they're raising prices because the cost of living is higher. A lot of workers, they get raises throughout the year. So of course, businesses have to pay for that. And if, in Publix's case, when we give something away for free, if something doesn't ring up right, the store has to compensate for that. And how does the store compensate for that? Okay? They have to raise the prices. Okay? They have to raise the prices because we give something away for free. And once a year we get raises. And they have to raise the prices again because, we get paid more an hour. So, it has nothing to do with politics. This has nothing to do with politics whatsoever. It's because, Publix, like Disney, Disney, Publix, they're businesses. They're businesses, and they have to make money to survive, okay? And I know that we don't want to, we don't really want to think about how how the theme parks are a business, but that's what they are. They're a business. And, they, when the cast members finally, when cast members finally got their raises after this whole big union fight and stuff, and the and the cast members finally got a pay raise, evidently, more, us as guests have to pay for it. We have to, because the cast members have to get paid, so it's, every time we buy Lightning Lane, or we buy a Coke, or we buy food, or if we buy merchandise or whatever, that money goes to Disney, and then Disney, pays their cast members, their people, And that's, people buy food at Publix, okay? And then they pay Publix, and then Publix pays us, okay? So it's a trickle thing, okay? So now look, do I agree that, do I agree that we pay for Lightning Lane? No, I do not. I don't think we should pay for Lightning Lane. I really don't, okay? I really miss the free Fast Pass system, okay? But I speaking for myself, more often than not, I always buy the Fast passes because I don't really feel like waiting in, 60, 70, 80, 90-minute or longer lines for a ride, okay? Because I don't want to waste my whole day waiting for one ride or two or whatever, okay? So that's why I buy the Lightning Lane. And, and to be fair, I usually only use it for rides that are popular. So, like Magic Kingdom, I use it for Haunted Mansion. Pirates of the Caribbean, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. But, I use that because I don't like that virtual queue system. So that's why I don't do that. And then after that, then I can, then I'll say, okay, well, those are my 3 rides I want to do. So, okay, now what do I want to do? Well, let's see, maybe I can do, it's a Small World, which, that ride is kind of give and take. Sometimes it's no wait. It's, kind of, it's like a 10-15 minute wait. Sometimes it's a 50-minute wait. And then that's when you want to use your Lightning Lane because you're like, I'm not going to wait 50 minutes, so, then I'll use it for Small World. And then I'm like, okay, now what do I want to use it for? Well, maybe I guess I can use it for, The Little Mermaid. Or I can use it for Big Thunder Mountain, which sometimes I use it for Big Thunder Mountain. Sometimes I do the standby with Big Thunder Mountain because that's a dual loading attraction. So the lines move pretty quick with that one. So sometimes I'll use it for Big Thunder, sometimes not. It just depends. With Epcot, Epcot is a little bit different because it doesn't have a lot of popular rides. There's obviously Frozen and Remy. Those are the 2 heavy hitters. So that's what you want to use Lightning Lane for. Living with the Land, Spaceship Earth, Nemo, Figment, those rides, they usually, unless it's a festival, then it's not a long wait. So I mean, are you just, I guess just to get your money's worth, you can use them. But I mean, with Epcot, there's really only 2 heavy hitters. There's Frozen and there's Remy. So after that, it's kind of like, well, maybe I'll use it for Spaceship Earth or Living with the Land or, whatever. But again, like I said, if it's not a festival, then it's, whatever. Hollywood Studios, I use it. I always use it at Hollywood Studios because I actually did do it. I did one day when I didn't buy Lightning Lane for Hollywood, and I was really surprised to find out that the shows actually, Beauty and the Beast and Indiana Jones, their Fast Pass people go in first. So it's not like it's not like Frozen, where everyone goes in at the same time, or the Little Mermaid show. when that was around. It's not like that where everybody goes in once, all at once. Beauty and the Beast and Indiana Jones, the Lightning Lane people go in first. I was kind of surprised by that. I was like, okay, I did not know that. And look, I'm only 5'1". I'm 5'1". So I want to sit as close to the front as I can, because that way I don't worry about some tall person sitting in front of me and then I'm like, okay, now I can't see anything. So that's why I use the fast passes for the shows. So, and then with Hollywood Studios, you have a couple more heavy hitters. You have Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and then you have Slinky Dog Dash, Rise of the Resistance, Tower of Terror, which I don't do, Rock and Roller Coaster, which I don't do either. So you have more heavy hitters at Hollywood Studios. So that's where you want to get your lightning lanes. So you can try to get those rides, because those rides are the heavy hitters. And so and then with Animal Kingdom, Animal Kingdom is, give or take. I mean, sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. There's really only 2 heavy hitter attractions at Animal Kingdom right now, until Dinosaur closes, but then that line will be really, really long. But for right now, there's only 2 heavy hitters at Animal Kingdom. There's Navi River Journey, and then of course there's Flight of Passage. So that's where I, want to use my lightning lanes for at least those, because those rides get pretty long during the day. Flight of Passage more so than Navi River Journey, but and Flight of Passage is, you have to pay extra for, but I don't mind paying for it, because it's, because Flight of Passage, that line is really long, really, really, and I'm talking like, 2 hours long. If you can get in that line, if it's like a 50-60 minute wait, go for it, okay? Because that ride is usually the wait time is usually over 2 hours for that ride. So, so that's where I would say, you want to, buy that extra lightning lane, because Flight of Passage, that's a really long line. I would probably, without sitting down and counting, I would say Flight of Passage is probably the longest line at at any 4 Walt Disney World theme parks for standby. I would guess, if I had to guess without having to sit down and think about it, I think that Flight of Passage is the longest. You will wait, because it is an over 2 hour wait all the time. And I mean, it's a great ride. So I mean, I understand why it's a 2 hour wait, but I would probably assume that Flight of Passage is the highest wait time of any of the parks, followed closely by Rise of the Resistance. Although usually Rise isn't too bad. I mean, it can get to 80, 70, 80 minutes. I have not since it opened, not since Rise has opened, have I ever seen that line over 2 hours. Okay? Flight of Passage, solid, is always a solid 2-hour wait, unless you're gonna, do it early in the morning, and then, then it's, probably gonna be, either, a walk-on or, 20, 30 minutes. But usually Rise of the Resistance usually doesn't really pass 70, 80 minutes. Usually. Now, during busy times, it's obviously, then it gets a lot busier, then it's over, then it's 2 hours. But, I mean, very rarely is Rise over 2 hours. I haven't seen it like that. I haven't seen a 2-hour wait for Rise for, I don't know, quite a while. I think over, I don't know, maybe over a year or two, I think. I'm guessing. So, yeah, I mean, but, but Flight of Passage is, that's the one. That's the one where you're going to want your fast pass, because that ride is the longest wait you will probably ever have at Walt Disney World. Now, hopefully, when Tiana goes to a standby line, I'm interested to see what the wait will be for that when the ride goes to a standby line, which I'm really surprised it hasn't gone to standby at this point. I know that it's been breaking down a lot still, so that's probably why they're not putting it on standby. Tron, that ride never breaks down, like hardly ever. So I don't really understand why Disney's still using that virtual queue for Tron. It's not Tron's not something I want to do, because I'm not really into roller coasters. There's a few exceptions to that, but I mean, Tron is not really, I've seen POV footage for it, but it looks like a great ride, but it just doesn't look like something that I would enjoy doing. So I'm surprised that ride's not on a standby line. But I mean, only Disney knows that. But the point I'm trying to make, after I went on that tangent, the point I'm trying to make is, because people are paying for fast passes now, because they're like, okay, now I'm giving Disney extra money. I'm giving them extra money now after paying, however much, for a week, Now I'm giving them extra money for fast passes. So now that immediately, people immediately assume, well, now I can, I'm going to be treated, I'm going to be treated better than everyone else because I'm giving Disney more money to pay so I can skip these lines. Then that, I'm sorry, my friends, but that does not happen. That does not happen. I have paid for fast passes every single time, and I have never even crossed my mind that I would treat these cast members like garbage, because I don't do that. I don't do that. I mean, why in the world would you do that? I don't get it. I don't get it. And case in point, another example is I was waiting for the trams yesterday. I was waiting for the trams to take me back to my car at Epcot. And over on the other side of so let's say I'm where the poles are, and then on the other side of me is so I know I'm facing this way, but right in front of me, there's a window. There's my kitchen window's right in front of me. So let's say right where I'm sitting is the tram to go this way, okay? To take me to my car. And then on the other side of me, this way, not behind me, but forward, is where they drop people off. So anyway, so a guy walks from where I'm standing. So again, this is the tram line, okay? A guy walks through the tram lane, which is fine, but there was another tram coming, and the cast member was like, "Sir, you can't walk yet. Please wait for the because obviously the tram has the right of way. Please wait for the tram to pass, and then you can go." And the cast member was not being rude. Obviously, they don't want you to get run over or die. And this guy said, and I'm not going to repeat what he said because but he said, "I will do whatever the F I want because I am a guest and I am better than you and you will treat me like royalty." And I'm standing there, and all of us, because there's a bunch of people waiting for the tram, and everyone is just looking at this guy, and it's just like, what the hell, man? I mean, are you serious? And then this guy proceeds to get up like this close to this cast member, like literally this close, and screams and yells and carries on at him. And I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. You don't do that. You don't do that. People do not do that. That brings me back to this conversation. People don't do that. Okay? I don't understand why people expect to be treated like royalty nowadays. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. I mean, like I said, Disney vacation, a Disney vacation is stressful enough already. All right? Don't make more stress for yourself. And to be honest with you, you could get trespassed, okay? You could get trespassed for yelling and screaming at a cast member, all right? So don't do that. Don't yell and scream at cast members. Don't break the rules. Don't smoke in the parks. Don't, yell, scream, kick people. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing this stuff happen in the parks. And look, I know that, I'm going on about this, okay? I know that I'm not going to stop people, okay? People are going to act the way people are going to act, okay? But it's just, if this gets to anybody, all I am asking is please treat people like human beings. Please treat them with kindness and respect and dignity. We have lost that. We have lost that. Ever since the COVID-19 pandemic, we have lost that. And I don't know where it went, but people have lost it, and they have just decided to treat everyone like garbage now. And it needs to stop. It really needs to stop. It's getting way out of hand, and it's getting ridiculous. So, people, please do not do that. Just, I'm tired of hearing these stories, of how people are yelling at cast members, kicking other guests, screaming at other people, punching things and kicking things, and just, I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of hearing about it. And, at times I want to keep my distance. At other times I'm like, I go on the attack because I'm tired. I'm tired of this. Working in the customer service industry myself, seeing the way that people, how they treat cast members is disgusting, and it's gross, and it needs to stop. It really needs to stop. This is Disney. This is Disney. We come here on vacations. We're annual pass holders, okay? We can't take our frustrations out on other people, especially other people that are only doing their jobs. All right? It's for your safety and my safety and the other people's safety as well. So I'm tired of hearing about these stories in the parks, and whoever's watching this, if you have done that, you need to knock it off. You need to knock it off, because I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired. I go to these parks to de-stress. I don't have a stressful job. I really don't. I'm a cashier at Publix, okay? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a firefighter. I'm not saving the world. I'm just a cashier at Publix. So I don't have a stressful job. The only thing stressful about it is people, acting like they're better than everyone else. And I'm sorry, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. I'm not better than you. I'm not better than the other person. I'm not better than, some, other guest, from, another state. I'm not better than, any, or when I'm at Publix, I'm not better than any other worker. I'm not better than any other customer. I'm just someone else. I'm just someone else. And this whole thing needs to stop. It really needs to stop. Unfortunately, I don't know what the solution to that is, but people's tempers have really gotten high. They have really gotten high, and it's gross. It's disgusting. People need to knock it off. So, yeah. that's my rant on this subject. So look, so if this very dark rant, this is probably the darkest rant I've ever been on. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe channel. I know I went off on this very, this very long rant here. But it's just something that I feel like I need to talk about. I feel like it's something that needs to be addressed, because I don't ever remember it being this way. And then ever since 2020, something has happened. Something has happened, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I wish I knew. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about this. But sometimes I'm concerned for my safety, and I've been going to these parks for most of my life. Like I said, ever since I was like 5 years old. Okay, I have never ever felt unsafe at a Disney theme park, and the way that people's attitudes are going now, I'm starting to get worried for my safety and other people's safety, and it needs to stop. It really needs to stop. So, I, to pick on these cast members because they're doing their jobs is unacceptable. So, I think I've said all I needed to say. So, if you enjoyed this, long, dark, rant, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to my channel. All my videos are not like this. I just wanted to do this because I feel like it's something that needs to be addressed. So, thank you very much for watching this video, And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. And please, I'm begging you. I am really, really begging you. Just, treat other people with kindness, okay? You catch more flies with honey than you will with vinegar, okay? Thank you very much for watching this video, and we will see you real soon.